There's a show on Netflix that I'm watching right now, and I'm like kind of in two shows, and they're both really good, but total opposite ends of the spectrum. I was earlier talking about From Scratch, which I'm watching, which is like a love story. Don't want to give anything away, but there's some sad elements to it. And then there's another one that last earlier this week, it was the number 6 show on Netflix, and it's called The Glory. Have you heard of The Glory?
I've not heard of The Glory. What do we got?
So it's a show about a girl who is bullied so badly in school that she drops out and she ends up getting her GED. And as an adult, she tracks down these people to enact her revenge on them. And it's
Ooh.
just in the beginning phases. We watched, I think we're on episode 2 or 3. So we watched an episode last night, my daughter and I, and she's kind of putting her plan into motion on how to enact revenge. And I was thinking about it because immediately I thought of like my school bullies. Now the things they did to her were pretty horrific, like really bad. And I don't, I'm not trying to compare because I think we all get traumatized by our bullies, and it's like we all remember them, right? Did everyone have a bully? Do you remember who your bully was, and what did they do to you? My bully was first I had a male bully in I was in 7th grade, he was in 8th grade, and he just always made things difficult for me. I'd be at my locker, he'd slam my locker shut. He'd be walking behind me, he'd step on the backs of my shoes. He would try to trip me. Like I just don't know why he got such joy in doing these things to me. Just any little thing he could do to make my life difficult. My backpack's on the ground, he'd take my backpack and hide it. Like, I just don't know why he did stuff like that.
Do you think he had a crush on you? And was that phase where he doesn't know how to show his proper emotions of having a crush on you? It's like, oh, if I do this to her, I'll get her attention. If I take her backpack, I'm going to be funny and she's going to come talk to me. Do you think he had a crush on you, or was just straight up bully?
I think he was just a straight up bully. And even if he did have a crush, he's still a bully, it's like no excuse.
Mm-hmm.
And then in high school, I had a female bully, and she was just awful to me. She would tell lies about me to her friends, to my friends. She would say horrible things to my face to the point where I just want to cry. And what's interesting is, I don't know, about 10 years ago, she requested me on Facebook, and I let that sit there for months. I was just like, ugh, do I accept her? Is she trying to reach out and apologize? And I eventually accepted her, and I wanted to see like what was going to happen here. And she never apologized, but she would always make nice comments on anything I posted. And I'm just like, I don't know. I still don't trust her, but I did let her in on that one. Who is your bully and what did they do? And do you know them as an adult? Whatever happened? 702-364-9400.
My worst one was in 9th grade. So 9th grade, I went to a new school. I went to Our Lady of Mount Carmel up until 8th grade. And then 9th grade, I went to junior high and Holly Kong Junior High. And so 9th grade was like the top of the class there. And this guy's name was Alex. And he was the worst. And I didn't fight back or do anything because I was the new kid in school. And I wanted everyone to like me. Looking back, I should have handled it so much differently. But his was physical. He would punch me and berate me, call me ugly, all kinds of things. There was a point where he made me bring him in a treat every morning, like a snack. And if I didn't bring a snack, it would get physical. So every morning I would be leaving my house and I would take a snack. My mom's like, oh, you sure are hungry? I'm like, oh, yeah. So I get hungry during the day. And it was a snack to give to Alex. So he would stop bullying me every single day. Mercedes, it was the worst. I dreaded seeing that guy.
How did he make you bring him a snack? Like how did he make sure that happened?
We were sitting, I forget what the class was, first or second period. And I remember him sitting next to me and he would punch me in my arm. Like, boom, and it hurt. I'm like, oh. And a couple other people I made friends with, like, why don't you fight back? I'm like, no, we're just goofing around. When he was just straight up bullying me. And then one day he's like, if you bring me, or maybe I had a snack or something, if you bring me a candy bar or snack, whatever, I won't punch you. So I was literally bringing in snacks. Probably lasted a couple of weeks and then the thing stopped. But every single day. And it was the worst dealing with that guy. Now, the next year, we all went to high school. We're going to start 10th grade, CB East. He goes, and I'm dreading seeing him the following year. But we were all the new kids in the big school. So it started to taper off in 10th grade. And then I remember seeing him after graduation, and he was a smoker. And I think the smoking stunted his growth. I remember seeing him, and I started working out and getting bigger. And I remember bumping into him, like, oh, who's the tough guy now? And things changed later on.
What was it for you? Who was it? What happened? 702-364-9400. Dawn says, my bully reached out and apologized to me. She has gone through abuse. She had gone through abuse at her home, and we had a good talk, and we are actually friends now. That's amazing. That's a good ending to that. This one says, I would carry my books in 4th grade, and she protected me. No one could touch me. I was tiny. If I didn't, she'd pick on me. Emily, good morning.
Oh, hold on.
Hey, who was your bully and what did they do?
I had a group of girls that bullied me in high school starting my junior year, and it just made my life hell. It started out of nowhere, and I remember beginning of senior year, they were going through homecoming sport. They were nominating people for king and queen, and all the girls, oh, Emily's not going to get picked. There's no way Emily's going to get picked. And I got nominated, and so that was my best way of sticking it to them.
Oh, they were livid when that happened. Good for you. Do you know where they are now? Did they ever reach out to you after the fact?
No, they never did, but I'd like to think I'm on top. I'm living my best life, and I don't worry about them anymore.
Yeah, exactly. No need to. I love that. That's great. And you showed them.
And if you are a bully in school right now, you can just stop. There's no need to do it. And as you can see, here we are telling stories from years and years ago. It has an effect on the person that you're bullying. Just stop. And if you're getting bullied, I wish I would have said something to someone. I wish I said something to my parents, teacher. I wish I would have said something, but I was just too scared to.
Yeah, and like you said, if you are a bully, you obviously have some sort of low self-esteem. Maybe you should figure out what's wrong with you instead of projecting it onto other people. Maybe you should figure out how to improve yourself so you don't traumatize someone for the rest of their life, you know?
Coming up here in the dirt, Mercedes, I'm going to need you to break this down for us. They're calling it a colossal K-pop collaboration. Details coming up in 5 minutes.
On your radio,
I love it.
on your phone,
I can just pull it up anywhere that I'm at.
on your smart speaker.
It's so easy to listen on my smart speaker.
The Valley is waking up with Mercedes in the morning. Connect with them on Twitter,
Is your bully still comment on your post?
She'll pop up every once in a while. Not like I'm not really on Facebook that much anymore, but like when Facebook was kind of like bigger, she would definitely make comments. And and I've seen, last I saw, this was like a couple years ago, but she went through some pretty rough times. So I actually
really?
felt kind of bad for her. So let me see if I can find her. Yeah, we're still friends. Trying to get her house sold.
Okay. Making a change.
It's crazy though when you see people you went to high school and they're having kids now, and their kids look exactly like them. It's
Really?
like, oh my
No
God.
way.
That it looks like you when you were in high school. It's crazy.
got an email from a listener I want to forward to you guys. We were talking about passwords.
Mm-hmm.
It's really enlightening to talk about how we should share our passwords to people. Just in case, like for God forbid, one of us passes away, we need to get into their things in case there's wills that are in your laptops or PIN numbers to access, that finance. Because I think right when you die, if you don't have anyone on your checking or savings account, it doesn't go to anyone, right?
Yeah, it goes in. What's that called? There's a word for it because it happened with Matt's dad, where judge has to.
Oh, step
Decide.
in and that really
I forget what the word is.
perpetuity or
No.
Laura's like she's like I don't even know how to pay the power bill and all that other stuff.
Probate. Thank you, Jeff.
Probate.
Yeah, probate.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't know. So thankfully we're all on each other's things, me and James. If something happened to one of us.
Yeah, I just was thinking like, because he has so much like on his laptop. I was like, I don't even know how to get on his laptop. Not that I want to, but just the password. And so I thought it was one thing, and I guess he had changed it a few years back because it was a pretty easy word. And so
It's password.
Now it's all complicated, and I'm like, oh God, I'm never gonna remember that.
It's that weird password that Safari recommends.
Yeah.
I forwarded over to my parents because I said, hey, this is information that I'm going to need to know in the future or sooner than later.
Yeah, I'm saying to them, I'm dead. Deal with it. Give you something to do.
Great. Thanks for adding more stress to my life, Mom. No, my mom's the organized one. My dad's like, don't worry about me.
Yeah, I'm dead. You'll figure it out.
He's like, don't have a funeral for me either. Just have a party.
Call Nevada Power. I'm sure they want to take your money somehow to pay for the power bill.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That's an interesting email.
Right?
Do you guys have wills?
That was the other conversation. We don't, because Laura's like, we need to get wills. I'm like, all right, we'll work on that too. We've talked about it before, but we don't. You guys?
Yeah, we have wills, we have a trust, like we have all that. It's one thing I'm really glad that we got that taken care of. As soon as we had kids, we made sure, and then we redid it when Brooklyn was born. So that's all settled.
Not to get morbid and stuff, but do you have a will, like God forbid something happens, you're on life support, of what you would want your final wishes to be? You have that all laid out.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's such a difficult conversation. Like, because we had a lawyer do it, and she's like, I hate asking all these questions, and she went through everything because that's what she does. That's the type of law she specializes in. And she's like, I got to go through all these questions just so we know. And then you sign all these things saying, we have a binder, like it's a huge binder that has every single.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you need a lawyer? You can do it on your own?
I'm sure you probably could. The reason we did it is, like I said, we set up a trust also. So, but I mean, there's a lot of things she brought up that we didn't even think of, or I didn't even know that we needed to do. So it's good to have someone who specializes in that. She opened my eyes on a lot of things I would have never, asked about.
Yeah, but if you write up something, if I write up a will saying when I die, I want this, that, and everything, does that hold up in a?
I don't know. I don't know if you have to
printed
get it
and signed
notarized or
Yeah.
because
That's what I mean.
yeah.
Like,
So
can I just go right now online or like on my Google Doc? When I die, and stuff like that. I wonder if I could do that and that'll hold up.
See, if I did it though, Laura couldn't access it because she's in my passwords.
Oh, you know what? James doesn't have my work password. Now I think about it.
See,
I have to use my Gmail on my personal.
it
It
is one of
says
those things.
many people think a will is a complicated process that requires the help of an attorney. However, if you have a simple estate plan, you can successfully write your own will without a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's smart. They're just to meet with one, get it all done. You have it.
This is why when James and I were talking about having kids in the future, he said, "How many kids you want?" I was like, "I want like 3 or 5." He goes, "No, even number." I was like, "Even number?" He goes, 2. It's the best. Easy. You split everything in half when we die. Because
And you're not outnumbered.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like you get this, you get that, you get this. Everyone splits everything halfway. And that's kind of like what my grandparents did, but there's 3 of them, my dad, my aunt, and my uncle. And they said split everything 3 ways. Everyone gets a little bit of everything. So there's no, I want this, I want that.
Yeah, that's like I always wanted more kids, and Matt was like James. He's like, we're good with 2. But it's like my dad's family, there was 5 of them, and in my grandparents' will, like they both had separate wills, and the way they divided stuff, it wasn't even. Like they did it based on need. So they like said this person gets 60%, this person gets 30%, and then the rest of you split the 10% or something like that. So it was like a mess. It was
that
a
caused
mess.
drama.
Yeah, it was like, oh my gosh.
It's time for the Daily Dirt on Biz 94.1.
Mercedes, how big is this? So a couple of K-pop icons are getting together for a new single due out next week. Big Bang's Taeyang is collaborating with BTS's Jimin on the song Vibe, and it drops on January 13th. The two broke the news on Tuesday when they posted a picture of the 2 of them together on what appeared to be a music video set.
Yeah, that was big news in that world. In that, it should be good. I'm looking forward to that one.
Could you compare it to, like, is that like Justin Timberlake teaming up with someone else for a collaboration? Like, how could you put it in if someone's not familiar with the K-pop world?
Wow. Oh, geez. I would say like Justin Timberlake and like, not Paul McCartney. Taeyang's not that old.
But someone big though.
Yeah,
of that
someone
caliber.
big. Yeah, definitely.
I feel like last year was the year. I feel like 2 years ago, Sophie introduced us to Billie Eilish, and I feel like last year was BTS. Are we on to something new this year? And if so, what is it?
She is really into like Twice, and La Seraphim, that's who she's into. She listens to a lot of K-pop though, so it's not for everyone, but
It's
those
still
are
K-pop.
that's on her radar right now.
So
I heard the new Miley yesterday.
the whole song.
Yeah,
How
and
was it?
saw the video.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, so I learned a couple things. So the song is called Flowers,
Mhm.
and it's really good, and it comes out on January 13th. And as we're on this call and listening to it and watching the video, which the video is like, wow, I felt like I had to go to the gym afterwards. She's like working out and doing all this stuff. But we're talking about the song and what we thought and stuff. And he said, well, just know that there is definitely a reason that it's coming out on the day it's coming out. And we're like, January 13th. And I immediately like went to Taylor Swift thinking like beef with Taylor Swift because I know they've been on hot and cold. And then I was like, wait a second, let me Google something. Because what the song is about is basically like she can buy her own flowers, she can do her own thing. And I said, when is Liam Hemsworth's birthday? And it's on January 13th. Did you talk about that already?
Oh, we did. Yeah, in the Derby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great story though.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah. So that
And they confirm it. Did the label confirm it? Because that was
it's on
speculation.
purpose. It's on purpose.
and
Yeah.
the label said that's why she's doing it.
They say, well, we're not saying anything, but there's a reason it's coming out that day. So yeah,
Oh.
I think it was confirmed.
Yeah, she put out some videos, and everyone's speculating this is part of the song. Is this part of the song?
Yes. But it's a stripped down part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot more happening. Yeah, it's really good. I think everyone's gonna like
And
it.
you heard it just once.
Sort of, yeah.
Ooh, because hard to judge a song after one listen. If you're hearing it like one or two times and you're liking it, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, it's really good. I liked it.
Oh, okay. What's the date again? The January 13th?
13th, yeah.
13th. Avatar: The Way of Water has passed 1.5 billion at the global box office. The film is now the biggest release from 2022, passing Top Gun: Maverick, which took in 1.48 billion globally. Avatar did that feat in just 19 days.
Dang, it was really beautiful. It was beautifully done. It was a little long for me, but I stuck through it and I did really enjoy it.
Well, as far as the domestic box office, it still has a ways to go before catching Top Gun. So Avatar has made 446 million in just 19 days. Top Gun is the leader there with 716 million. But they're saying it should make a run here because there's no other big movies coming out. The next challenger possibly stepping up is Marvel's Ant-Man, which is over a month away.
Yeah, that's going to be good too. They showed the previews for that
Oh, yeah?
at Avatar, and I was like, oh, I want to see that.
Speaking of movies, what do you think of these? So Entertainment Weekly put together a list of the 20 best guilty pleasure movies. Tell me if you've seen them, if you enjoyed them. Showgirls from 1995.
Yeah, that was the only one on that I recognized on the like top 5 of the movies.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
I thought
fun.
it was cute.
Guilty pleasure, right?
Yeah.
Overboard from 1987.
I never saw that movie.
Oh, it was. I remember watching. It was great, but if you break down the concept, Goldie Hawn fell overboard. She had amnesia, and then Kurt Russell conned her into thinking that she was married to him, and he was kind of like a derelict. And they had like a relationship, and it's like, wait a second,
That is really screwed up.
if you break it, and then like she got banged in the head, and then she came to, she's like, wait a second, you're not my husband. It was a whole thing.
Oh wow.
Twilight from 2008.
That one, I love that movie. I will, if it's ever on TV, I will stop and watch it.
Pretty Woman from 1990.
Yes, I like that one a lot.
Tommy Boy 1995.
I'm hot and cold with it. Sometimes I like it. You got to be in the mood for it.
Is that fat guy in a little coat song?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monster in Law from 2005. Con Air from 1997. It's a great one. Flashdance. You ever see Flashdance 1983?
I didn't know. I don't think I did. No.
I know the song and stuff, but I don't think I ever saw the actual movie.
No, I don't think so either.
Well, those are best guilty pleasure movies according to Entertainment Weekly. Now, coming up next hour, we're doing a heads up right around 8:25, and when you win, you'll get tickets to go see the Red Hot Chili Peppers. We can squeeze in one more song out of traffic here.
Okay. Is there one of yours that you wanted to?
Yeah,
Talk
for sure.
about-
1 sec. So it's a lesser one, but the whole lost in translation thing. The thing with that, like everyone was like amped up over this Eagles Christmas album. Everyone kept playing it. I think it came out like the week before we got home. The Eagles, I'm listening to them. They sound awful. But what's the big thing? It's the Eagles. They sound horrible. It doesn't sound like them. And then I realized I thought it was the Eagles, the band. It was the Eagles, the football team. Did a Christmas album. But for
Okay.
like 3 days, it's like I'm thinking it's the Eagles, the band. Like, what the heck? They sound horrible. Why is everyone so excited about this? It's just the Eagles. And it's lost in translation. Or the other one is, what is your town known for? Like, does your town have a dark secret? Or what is your town best known for? Laura had no idea that an NBC News anchor had tragically passed away in our town.
Yeah, that sounds good too. Try that one.
Yeah.
Right. Delays on the westbound Colza Beltway showing up now past North Cone. Crash on 95 South approaching South Rancho. That's off to the right. In the Central Valley, you've got a truck on its side on southbound D Street just past I-15. Northwest injury accident still being investigated today south of Lake Mead. Mitch Kelly with your time saver traffic.
Mix 94.1. Coming up. You're going to want to hear this.
Do you have a reputation from your town that you'd rather not have? Is your town known for something? Your hometown? Maybe you grew up here in Southern Nevada, but your part of town is kind of known for something, or maybe it was somewhere else. What is it? Apparently, JC's hometown is known for something not very great, and I hadn't heard of this before either. We'll talk about that coming up next. It's Justin Bieber on Mix 94.1. That is just tragic. And I never knew that that was kind of what your hometown was known for.
Yeah, and Laura, my wife, who grew up in that area, had no clue that this had happened either. And so we're back home, and we're having dinner in an area called New Hope, Pennsylvania. And we're talking about hotels where we're staying. And there's a new hotel, a little inn that has been built over the past couple of years, and it's called the Inn at Odette's. And Laura was looking at stuff on her phone. She's like, "What about that inn at Odette's? It looks really cool." And my parents were telling her about it. And then I made a comment. I'm like, "Oh, poor Jessica Savage." She's like, "Jessica who?" I'm like, "Oh, Jessica Savage. You don't know the story?" And Laura's like, "No, who's that and what happened?" So back in the 80s, in the early 80s, Jessica Savage, she was a news anchor on NBC Nightly News. I think she was the weekend news anchor. And she was kind of like a trailblazer, female broadcaster, kind of a pioneer back then in the 70s and early 80s. And she came down from New York City to have dinner in New Hope at a restaurant called Odette's. And Odette's in New Hope sits between the canal and the Delaware River. And it was a rainy night, and they didn't have great signage. So she went in there with her boyfriend or her date, and they had dinner, and they came out, and the guy's backing the car up, and he didn't see the canal, and his car, this is tragic, slid down the back of the canal and flipped over. And Jessica and her boyfriend drowned in like 4 feet of canal water because it was so muddy that the car sank into the mud of the canal and the water filled up and they couldn't get out. And they discovered the car like the next day. It was awful. But Laura had no idea that happened in her own backyard.
That's tragic. I am just I feel so sorry for them. That's awful.
And
But
it's-
that's what your town is known for, huh?
Yeah, it's a big tragedy that I think a lot of people kind of forgot about, or, if you're born after it happened, you don't realize it did happen. But it was, I want to say it was early 80s that it happened. But Laura had no clue. And the restaurant is still there, and where everything happened, it's still there. But yeah, if you look back, that was a major national news story when she tragically passed away.
Do you have a story from your hometown that it's kind of like what you're known for? Maybe it's not a bad story, but a happy one. Like,
Yes.
I grew up in the town that's famous for this, or this story. This happened in my hometown, or this famous person is from my hometown, or whatever. What is it for you? 702-364-9400. Your hometown reputation, what is it known for?
And I was a little kid. I remember hearing like the news story, but not grasping what was going on. And then just, reading about it and learning about it later on as they got older, like, wow, that is awful story. Anything for you, your hometown?
Yeah. Columbine.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Yeah. I was like, ugh, I was going to glaze over mine, but yeah, I'm from Littleton, Colorado, and Columbine's probably about 8 minutes from my childhood home. And so, yeah, Columbine is, when I say where I'm from, Littleton, if people are familiar, they're like, oh, Okay, yeah. So that's what my hometown is famous for. Steph, what about you? Are you at Chula Vista? Anything you guys are known for there?
I'll try to lighten the mood a little bit.
Good, please.
Yeah, so the Chula Vista area, which is southern San Diego, it's split between the 805 freeway. I'm from the east side, and then I also worked on the west side of Chula Vista, which Chula Vista Middle is where I went to, which is where I taught high school. Excuse me. Chula Vista Middle is also where Mario Lopez went there, and I
Oh.
taught there hip hop dance classes, and the theater teacher, she remembered Mario when he was like a little kid.
Oh, that's cute. Was he in the theater and
Yes.
stuff back then too?
Yes, he was. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is where Mario Lopez went. So I feel like Chula Vista is known because of Mario Lopez.
Oh, he put Chula Vista on the map.
And Mario Lopez brought this out of a tragic conversation too. Tragedy. Mario Lopez.
Yay! This text just came in. It says, I'm from Boulder, Colorado. John Bonet. Yes, the John Bonet
Oh my
Ramsey
gosh.
story. Someone else also wrote that. Went to college in Boulder, Colorado in the 90s, graduated in 95 from CU, had a sales job in my territory, included Boulder. And every time my sales director came to town, they wanted me to drive them by the John Bonet Ramsey house. So disturbing. I lived my sophomore year about 2 blocks from that house.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah,
Was that when it was all going down and everything? Was it earlier?
No, it was before. Like looking back, when did that happen? 1998 or something?
Oh, I forget.
I
In
can't
the
remember.
90s.
But yeah, so I had an apartment that I shared with a couple of girls, and then like 2 blocks away, that occurred there. When was that? That is
And we played The Fray. Anytime that song, The Fray, How to Save a Life comes on, was it your sister that was at a party and hung out with the guys from The Fray?
Oh yeah, they were. It wasn't at a party. It was at a bar that he needed a ride home. It was in '96, so I was actually I was in school at that time. So I guess I was close, but I didn't live in that apartment in '96. So
You're in that area.
yeah. So that's
Wow.
crazy, but yeah, just some certain things that people are known for. My town is famous for tri-tip, says Tasha. Santa Maria, California. Tri-tip is delicious.
Heck yeah.
I like that one. That's my favorite one so far. Tasha's tri-tip from Santa Maria. That's great.
We'll rank them. We'll go tri-tip, Mario
Number
Lopez,
one.
and we'll just stop
And
the
then
ranking
we're
at
just
there.
gonna end it right there.
End it right there. And the fray from your
Yes,
area as well. Those are the
exactly.
top 3. Now, coming up next hour, those tickets for you to go see the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's happening right around 8:25. And up next is the Hot 3. What do you got for us?
All right. If you have not put away your Christmas decorations, why today is the day you need to do it? We'll explain coming up. Also, why procrastination can make you poor, and a couple is shamed for doing this on an airplane. But do a lot of us already do this? We're going to talk about it coming up next in the Hot 3.
You following the Idaho stuff at all?
Idaho?
The 4 students.
Oh, I mean, I know about it. I'm
Yeah.
not really like following it closely. Is there something going on?
No, I just like headlines and stuff popping out in the same way. I just read about it, but not following it closely. Just awful.
Yeah.
Ooh, thank you.
Thank you.
Five 1 hour.
JC, I'm looking at where that Odette's place is in
Mhm.
New Hope. You're no kidding. It's right on the river.
Yeah, it was. The car like just flipped over and it sank in the canal and they couldn't get out. It's so sad.
Ugh.
She was I remember thinking she was a Philly news anchor, but it wasn't until I got older I realized that she was a national NBC news anchor.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
She was just based out in New York and then.
Yeah,
or-
so she came down. And I think her boyfriend or the guy she was with was someone big in the media too. I don't know his name though.
Oh. A lot of sad talk.
I know. I'm like bummed out.
Damn it, I need to go for a walk.
I'm sad.
Mario Lopez raised us out of it.
I was like, I gotta think of something nice. We also had the Olympic Training Center in Chula Vista.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yes. I think it was also on one of the most boring cities lists. Like when the surveys that'll come out.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those.
Really?
But I'm like, it's not too boring.
I still put that under the category of San Diego, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's only like a 15 minute drive to Central.
Yeah.
I bet you Sophie will never go to Chula Vista though.
No?
I mean, not saying that she wouldn't. It's just like everything that she might need is where she's at.
Yeah.
I don't see her needing to like, hey mom, I'm in Chula Vista. Takes a
Gotta go to
selfie.
Chula Vista for something.
Yeah, I don't see her being like, oh my gosh, you know what though? There's the amphitheater there. They do have concerts there.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they have concerts there. It's next to a water park.
I guess SZA is performing in San Diego. She wants to go to that. She's all
Where is she
excited.
performing though?
I think Petco. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's too big for her. I don't know. She's all
Oh,
excited.
Viejas Arena at San Diego State.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I want to go see SZA.
She's killing it right now. That
oh,
album.
I know. No pun intended. Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Is it number one album right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's not coming to Vegas.
I know. And that was another thing. I was like, dang, why'd she skip here?
Looks like a pretty short tour.
What was 6:30? Was that the passwords?
Yeah.
And 7 was the bully?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, but the show's on a Monday at 8 in San Diego.
Yeah.
Can't do weekdays.
Yeah.
Unless I really, really like can't miss it. Did you guys hear about rumored Coachella headliners?
No.
Gosh, let's see. I have to just off the top of my head, Olivia Rodrigo, which I doubt, only because like her album's only 30 minutes. And, if she did, she would do a lot of covers, like she did with her show.
Isn't she coming out with a new album, or is that this?
Yeah, she should be coming out with a new album that I heard, but I haven't seen any type of teases for that. So there's Olivia. There was Dua Lipa as a rumor.
Well, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think she'd be great. Drake as a rumor. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Who else? Rihanna,
Oh, I could see Rihanna.
Bad Bunny, Blink 182, Frank Ocean, SZA.
When do they announce?
They had to do it soon.
You would
In
think.
April, right?
Yeah, it's already in April. Blackpink. That would be amazing.
What do you hear this year's Marcella lineup? It's gonna be bigger and better.
Last year's was nothing.
Well, we got started last year. Bigger shirts.
We're gonna have 2 shirts. One
Two
for the
shirts to
6
choose
o'clock
from?
and 7 o'clock, and then the second one for the 8 o'clock and
Oh, I
9
like
o'clock.
that. Oh yes,
Costume
An outfit change.
yes. 6, 7, and 8. Get ready for 3 shirts for Marcella this year.
Someone said it was a rumor at Coachella. Kate Bush. I was like, okay.
Yay.
Don't really see her doing a huge festival lineup, but all right.
We're gonna
Sing
start
the
working
same-
on the Marcella cameos now because it takes a while to get them.
We should do them now. While we're ahead. Has Taylor Swift ever performed at Coachella?
I don't think so. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure she has not.
She's only attended.
Oh, she has?
Yeah, not performed from what I see.
I was looking for ideas for our meeting today.
Oh yeah.
And I love. Do you know what backdrop earrings are?
Mm-mm.
They're like an earring where you put like there's like a little stud or something, and then on the back there's something that comes down, like
Oh
from
yeah.
the back of it, not in the front of it. And I used to love those, and I never see those anymore. So I was like Googling backdrop earrings, and there are some. I mean,
I have to search those.
It's time for the Hot 3 on Mix 94.1.
if you still have your holiday decorations up, is it just because you're procrastinating? Do you still want them up? What's the plan on that? And when is the best time to take them down? Well, that time is today. or maybe tomorrow, and I'll tell you why. According to Christian tradition, you should be taking down Christmas trees and decorations on the 12th night to avoid bad luck. So if you believe in that, that's the reason. Not the 12th night of the year, the 12th night after Christmas, which is today. So if you believe in that, that's why it says today. The 12th night celebrates the arrival of the three wise men when they followed the star of Bethlehem to bring gifts to the baby Jesus. The only problem is that some churches start counting on different days. So the Church of England counts from Christmas Day, which means the 12th night falls on January 5th. Other denominations like the Catholic Church, they start counting from Boxing Day, which means they say the 12th night is tomorrow. In any event, it's just time to put them away.
King's Day was a thing growing up. So I know tomorrow is King's Day. My parents still celebrate it, and it would just mean an extra gift. That's when the kings arrive, and so the tree, everything, like you said, everything else would come down shortly after Christmas, but the tree would stay up. So on King's Day, it was like, woohoo! The kings brought us a present. It was just one little gift, but it was a nice little bonus gift to look forward to.
That's nice. Yeah, we never celebrated anything like that. We just my mom always had a tradition where the tree went away on January 2nd. After the new year, it was there. I'm the opposite. I don't like keeping it up for the new year. I feel like you shouldn't bring the old into the new. And so as much as I love seeing it, I want to make sure everything is cleaned up, put away by December 31st, preferably on the 30th, because I like to spend the 31st just like getting ready for the new year. So we had all our stuff gone on the 30th.
You like that fresh start. I like that. Start the year. You don't need the holiday decorations up. You go into the new year clean.
It just seems like cluttered going in,
Yeah.
and I don't like that. So also this morning, speaking of procrastination can damage your health and leave you worse off financially. So this new study found that those who regularly put off doing things have an increased risk of poor sleep, lack of exercise, and getting into financial difficulty. The experts believe this is because although most people have tendency to procrastinate a little, for others, it's just their general disposition, and it can really affect how well they do in life. Those who often delayed an intended course of action, despite expecting to be worse off, they risk everything from poorer academics, achievements to general health. So they're saying procrastination can really change the course of your life. I mean, we all do it, right?
Yes.
I
Yes.
definitely procrastinate, but I think I've gotten a little bit better with it. I give myself a deadline. I work on deadlines, and I'm like, okay, this needs to be done, and it needs to be done by this date. So it's up to me if I want to take my time with it or if I want to at the last minute work to get it done. But I do a lot of deadlines for myself.
And then once you make that decision, whatever has to get done, you stick with it, or do you
Yeah.
flip flop on
Oh,
stuff?
I
Once
always
you
do.
go all in.
Yeah, I always get it done. That's one thing. If I set a date, it better be done by then. How about you?
I'll go through phases, and it gets bad at times. Like, for example, the trip going back east. We fly back on the 20th or 21st. I probably debated like a week. And then we finally booked, I think, the 21st, whatever it was. And then after I booked it, I'm second guessing. No, maybe we should fly out the 20th. What should we do? It gets bad. So now it's like, once you make the decision, okay, we booked the 21st. We're going out the 21st. No changes. It's done. Decision has been made.
Yeah, just make the commitment.
Yeah.
Commit.
Commit. Yes. Where was that? Chicago, right?
Yeah, crossing the street. Commit.
That's a great motto for 2023. Commit.
You just got to say, I'm going to do it. Pull the trigger and do it.
Mhm.
Finally, this morning, a couple of airline passengers have divided the internet after sharing their strategy to find the right person to be the third in their row. So Southwest Airlines, they have an open seating policy, meaning there are no assigned seats. Passengers are assigned to a boarding group and then a boarding position, and then that decides what order they board in. Well, a couple posted a video showing their hack that they use for a flight. So what they do is they take an aisle and a window seat until they find what they deem as the right person. They captioned the video writing Southwest etiquette. The response to the strategy, though, has been really mixed, with some people calling the move childish. Other couples or other people praise the couple and admitted that they do similar things. So you're basically judging everyone, and then when you finally are like, oh, okay, this person is okay to sit with us, then they let them in.
Oh, so, well, that's how we do it. Like flying back, Laura sits on she takes the window. I'll take the aisle. And we sit like that. And then if someone comes and says the middle seat taken, then I'll say, oh, actually, I'm with her. And I'll slide over one and give them the aisle.
Okay, so you're not like judging.
No.
You're giving them the chance to ask.
Yes, if someone asks, I'm
Yeah.
holding out that someone gets on the plane and everyone walks past it because no one wants that middle seat. I'm hoping that if there's a couple empty seats, we get one. But if someone gets on, like, is that taken? I'll move over. Say, well, I'm with her. Let me slide over and give that person the aisle.
We do something similar. Basically, the first thing I do is I ask the flight attendant, "Is this a full flight?" And if they say yes, it is, then we don't even bother with
Mhm.
that. We know someone's going to sit there, so we just set ourselves up accordingly. If it's not a full flight, we separate, hoping no one sits in between us, so we have extra room. And that's when I get so excited when someone does not sit there. But there have been times where they're like, "Is this seat taken?" And I'm like, "Oh, there's like a bazillion back there." Why? And I'm like, "Yes, of course. You can sit here." So
Isn't that the best feeling in the world if you're in that situation and the middle seat's open and everyone's on the plane and they make the announcement to the crew, all passengers are on board. You're like, yes!
oh, score.
Yes!
That is the greatest. That's it.
Oh, that's the last one there?
Yep.
Okay, let me switch this over here. 8 o'clock hour. There's tickets for you to go see the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That happens at 8:25.
Well, we're going to be back in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're going to play Judge Your Friends in a little bit. We will see you guys then. Bye.